I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't...
Why are more men choosing financial independence and singlehood over marriage? And what happens when living alone starts to feel more comfortable than being in a relationship? As people marry later and single-person households continue to increase, more are questioning whether relationships still provide enough value to justify their financial and emotional costs. For some men, independence means greater control, fewer responsibilities, and more peace. So, is this just a temporary trend, or are men permanently changing the way they approach relationships? Today's video explores that growing debate. The patriarchy narrative conveniently overlooks every mechanism that can work against men: family courts, workplace liability concerns, social pressure surrounding male vulnerability, and the cultural expectation that male sacrifice should simply be accepted as normal. The system isn't automatically designed to benefit men in every situation. It never was. That part simply had to remain invisible for the narrative to work.
Woman's 35 and she ain't got kids yet, she's really panicking. So you start to say things like kids, family. You can mention that shit. Listen.
I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't drink anything without feeling pain, true pain.
Going to a woman's home can create legal and reputational risks where independent verification may not exist. What happens behind closed doors can later be described by one person from their own perspective. Men who have watched similar situations happen to others have adjusted accordingly. Self-preservation isn't irrational fear, it's recognizing patterns and responding to them.
Let's talk about what Charlie Kirk said.
We've basically told a great generation of young women, don't get married, don't have kids, go get a corporate job, and it's created mass political hysteria. And then in their early 30s, they get really upset because they say, you know, the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime. And people get mad when I say that. Well, it's just true. If you're in your early 30s, I'm sorry, it's like you're not as attractive in the dating pool as you were in the early 20s. But again, you have your corporate job and cats, so I thought, you know,
this generation of women, I would say generations of women, have been fed this idea that it is more important for you to make money and to be independent and to live on your own in your 20s and your 30s, and then you're going to find a guy who wants to marry you, you're going to settle down, you're going to be able to have kids, and you can spend the next 10 to 20 years doing it all or balancing both. And that is a lie. That has absolutely caused mass hysteria. That is a lie that has caused a lot of disappointment and devastation.
The provider and protector responsibilities were historically connected to a reciprocal relationship. Remove the reciprocal arrangement while keeping the responsibilities. That's not equality, that's one-sided extraction with a modern label. Apply the same standard to both genders or don't apply it at all. Men notice the inconsistency almost immediately.
Being in your late 20s is so hard. I've seen a few people talk about this and just kind of the loneliness of your late 20s, and especially people who are kind of in this middle stage of, hey, I'm not married, don't have kids, not in a relationship, but I'm also not going out every weekend. I spend a lot of my time by myself. I live alone. I come home from work, I go to the gym, I spend my evenings alone. And on the weekend lately, I feel like I've been so exhausted that all I want to do is like spend time by myself. And I'm struggling with questions about work. You know, am I passionate about what I'm doing? Am I good at it? Should I be traveling right now and not working? Or should I be trying to work remotely so that I can travel? Like, there's just all these things that I think I would like to experience. And it's hard to know, well, when am I going to experience those things? But
Men tend to spend money on things that maintain their usefulness or create lasting value. Their budgets may not prioritize cosmetic upkeep, designer accessories, or purchases primarily intended to signal status. The financial difference between male and female single life isn't simply about men being naturally frugal, it's about different spending patterns. Remove the lifestyle subsidy, and the financial calculation changes dramatically.
Nowadays, you see women waiting. They're waiting. Well, I want to focus on my career. I want to focus on my degree. I want to be successful. Nothing wrong with that. But what happens is they get to 30 and they have an epiphany. They're like, oh shit, I got to hurry up. Like we had a guest on here, I won't say the name,
Timeline.
35 years old, childless, no husband. You're at that, we call it hitting the wall.
Yeah.
And then they become negative around it and start saying men are shitty, men are douchebags. And then they get in their 40s and they end up on TikTok talking shit at 40 years old, which is pointless, right? What did you do in your 20s? And this is another thing. It's interesting on planning. Watch this, Sean. And I know you get this. You talk to men, you say plan. You counsel women, plan. I ask a woman on the show, what's your 2 to 5 year plan? I don't know. You don't know.
But yet you want a quality man.
You're 35 years old.
The explanation has been given openly, repeatedly, and for years. Refusing to accept it isn't necessarily misunderstanding. Sometimes it's a deliberate choice. Listening would require changing the existing narrative and accepting some responsibility for the consequences. That's the part that rarely happens. Men can't solve a problem when the other side refuses to acknowledge its own contribution.
So you're almost 40, yes. And you've never been married? No. And you don't have kids? No. And you don't want to have kids? No. What have you done with your life? Well,
I had a wonderful day at the beach today, but now it's Friday night, and I'm all alone.
Independence eventually encounters practical limits, and a teenage neighbor can suddenly become the solution. The capability difference isn't something to be ashamed of, it's simply reality. The real issue is the distance between claiming complete independence and honestly recognizing where that independence has limits. Being strong and independent is a perfectly reasonable goal, but it requires accurately understanding where your capabilities end.
So this is for men that live here in America. We need more men approaching women. A lot of you guys know that I'm a hairstylist. I have a lot of clients. Most of my clients are women. 97% of them are single. Beautiful women with their life together. Not just single because they don't want to. Single because they can't find men. They do try to go to grocery stores, to go to the gym, to go to the park, to church, open spaces to see if they can find a man to talk to. But what they say is, they say that men do not approach. Men do not initiate anymore. We need men to initiate more, please.
Every demand was made, and every demand was respected. Toxic was the accusation. Dangerous was the warning. Unnecessary was the conclusion. Men heard the message, understood it, and adjusted accordingly. The safety that was requested arrived exactly as demanded. If dissatisfaction follows that outcome, resolving it isn't automatically a responsibility that belongs to men.
So what I'm telling women is, do not, if you want a family, if you want a husband, do not allow yourself to get to a point where you hit that wall. You are 37, you are looking in the mirror, whatever age that is, and you see a different face and you see your youth going away from you and you start to panic and you can't find yourself in the mirror. Don't let that be the case while you're still on the hunt for a man, or you are going to feel inadequate, depressed, anxious, and rush in to do something toxic to your body to compensate for that. If women just listened more to what people like me are saying, and in your 20s, instead of burying in the career stuff and burying in everything else, you acknowledged the reality that what you have is going to go away. The fertility, the youthful beauty.
Two incomes can theoretically create financial advantages, and sometimes they absolutely do, under the right circumstances. But the important phrase is under the right circumstances. When one person spends more carefully, requires less supervision, and creates less stress, the expected financial benefits can disappear under the real costs. The marriages lasting 30, 40, or 50 years are often treated as proof that the system works, but the conditions that produce those marriages are genuinely difficult to reproduce and becoming less common.
3 reasons why I should be your girlfriend. I will cook and clean for you all the time, every day. I'm very loyal and supportive, very supportive and loyal. And lastly, I will give you every day.
Financial independence as a survival strategy in a worsening economic environment isn't necessarily pessimism. It can simply be contingency planning. The historical comparisons may be uncomfortable, but they aren't entirely without foundation. Men who establish financial security independently before circumstances become more difficult are often the ones with the greatest number of options regardless of what happens next.
Men are finally waking up. They are starting to see that being loyal, giving, and doing everything right does not mean that you will be appreciated. Too many good men have been bruised by women that only saw them as a wallet, a handyman, or an emotional punching bag. Those same men are now choosing themselves. They are choosing peace as well over pressure of the world that they have to be a husband and a father. They're literally protecting their hearts. And that's not because they don't love women. They are tired of being drained by the wrong women. If women do not see that y'all are paying attention to exactly who some of us are, and some of us are just not for the right thing, they are falling to societal pressures, their little circle that's around them, their mothers, their aunties, their sisters, their friends. They want them to be the leaders in the relationship, and that's just not how it works in this world. What we say...
The imbalance is straightforward. Women can lose certain comforts by becoming single because some of those comforts may have been externally provided. Men can gain comfort by becoming single because certain financial and emotional demands disappear. Single female life can cost more than partnered life. Single male life can cost less. That difference explains a significant part of the conversation without requiring an elaborate theory.
Men over 50 are almost twice as likely as women to marry out of the West. So these guys are they've exhausted their options in the West or in their town or in their city or even in their country, and they're expanding their dating map. So what's actually even more interesting is that guys are actually they're starting younger doing this too. So like guys who are in their 20s and 30s are like, I'm not even going to start dating in my community. I'm going to look abroad first, which is kind of insane to me. Like, you got to test the waters first before you even go out there.
We haven't exhausted our options. Our options have exhausted us.
What's something you don't understand about guys?
Why don't they like to chase girls?
Why don't you with the people that are chasing you?
Maybe because I want them to keep chasing me. I like the attention, I guess.
Basically, you just want to keep chasing so they get nothing and you get fulfilled with attention.
I guess when you put it like that, it sounds wrong.
You're the one that
can I get your answer? You trying to go to a class after party?
Hey, this what you wanted, ain't it?
What are you guys doing after?
Me and her?
No, just you.
You gotta choose one. You can't get me and her.
No, we're going to class.
Is that your type?
No.
Did that chasing help you? Did it make you feel good?
I mean, I guess.
So, why are more men choosing independence over marriage? If these examples point toward one conclusion, it's this. Many men have built lives that already function well without a relationship, making singlehood less about loneliness and more about having a choice. When independence offers peace, financial control, and fewer obligations, a relationship has to provide genuine value to compete with that lifestyle. That doesn't mean every relationship is a burden, or that marriage cannot be deeply rewarding. But as people become more capable of building stable lives independently, they're also less willing to accept relationships that don't offer reciprocity, stability, and mutual benefit. The real question is whether modern dating can provide enough balance, trust, and reciprocity to make men want to step back into the game.
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.